You there, Chris? Oh. Are we live but like muted, or are like sound issues? Who has sound? You're having sound issues?
Look, everybody.
Ten. All right. Well, 10-4, Chris. Doing pretty good this evening. Yeah, here at Gateway, this is the second race, I believe, in the third round of the playoffs here in the BNR Cup Series. Starting grid, Caleb Shelton in the 73 takes pole position. Samuel Archibald, second place. That is front row. Brandon Moore and John Tiller, second row. Cameron Smith, Philip Bridgman, third row. Fifth and sixth, Jacob Carter. Josh Small, seventh and eighth. Timothy Cook and Brock Page, ninth and 10th. Tyler Myers and Christopher Campbell in 11th and 12th. And Aaron Bradford and Nathan Lyon, 13th and 14th. I believe that is the 14 competitors here tonight. So Caleb Shelton, hopefully can have a good race tonight. He would kind of need it after some troubles and everything he has been encountering the last couple of weeks, it seems.
Guys in the back, just know that I'm taking it easy here. So I'll try to get out of your way if you want it, but I'm not pushing hard for a while.
10-4.
green flag here this evening. Everybody trying to take it easy on the opening laps, initial laps. Looks like Archibald in the 21 has gotten up and by the pole sitter Caleb Shelton. In everybody trying to just take it easy. Like I said, gonna have a lot of shifting here this evening. Probably feel, oh, contact being made. Jacob Carter and Cameron Smith possibly getting together, tangled together. Looks like coming off of the final corner. Cameron got loose, spun his tires, getting back onto the straightaway perhaps, just getting loose, and lost control of that car. Came down, collected the 22 of Jacob Carter.
That looks like Bridgman having some netcode. I'm trying to get a better angle here. Bridgman's known for Blakey Bridgman. Let me see. Here we go. Well, yeah, something happened, but he's definitely inside the 7 of Bridgman. I don't think that one can be blamed on him, but... Big wreck early here, Will.
Yeah, just inconvenient, wrong place, wrong time type of areas, but I still would have to say, coming off the corner, the 8 just got loose. Phillip was a bit out of position, could have been, a little bit leading up to that, like possibly Cameron wasn't wanting to go 3 wide, possibly playing with the throttle to get away from that situation, but like I said, still looks like he might have got loose coming up off the corner. But yes, early caution on the early goings. I want to say 6 sets of tires to start the race. The ones you start with. So, and then 5 in the pits, I do believe. That could be another reason why you see some drivers not qualify, because if I'm not mistaken, the qualifying tire leads over to race tire.
Alright, I think we got it all figured out.
We could be seeing also these long straightaways with these tight radius corners, just not the shifting, just not a lot of shifting, but a lot of lockups tonight as well. So some drivers getting through 1 and 2, shifting all the way down into 3rd gear, while others just shifting down into 4th. So some double shifting down. Wouldn't be surprised, maybe some maybe go down into 2nd. That would be very questionable territory, I guess, if it's just really trying to get the car to turn, really, that extra torque or RPM. Different, gear selections have different RPM revs or sets, so you gotta try to get the car. Sometimes that engine power can get the car to rotate. Just, it's amazing what a bit extra torque will do.
Will, I've noticed Caleb Sheldon, obviously a pretty big fan of Pepsi. He's always got Pepsi on his car, and it's not the same scheme, it's different ones too.
Yeah, here lately he's really been finding different Pepsi schemes. Some people Yeah, like you say, just could be really big fan of Pepsi. That'd probably be me if I was trying to find a reasonable thing to slap on a car. But yes, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off there, Chris. Green flag back out in the air.
Everybody signal filing out for the most part. Only a couple side by side, Carter and Myers.
Now, in turns 3 and 4, you only really need to shift down to 4th gear. And some drivers are possibly holding 4th gear all the way down into turns 1 and 2, then shifting down into 3rd. So,
You know, I don't know about the Cup cars on the real level, but I'm wondering if they could even be shifting down to 3rd, because I know
yes.
some of the truck drivers shift down to 3rd from 4th. So if they're shifting there, we're wondering if, you know, grabbing 2 gears in these corners.
I was told that some drivers were shifting down into 3rd, but others were hesitant. They didn't want to heat up, or not necessarily heat up, but you know, grind those tires, because you know, the lower the gear, the more that drivetrain or that drive axle, transaxle is going to spin, because you know you're adding more rotations. Yes, Timothy Cook had a moment. Bradford about ran him over, but really pounced on him pretty good, but Bradford had to back out of it. Oh, man. Then Timothy had another moment, lost the spot to Myers. So, very tricky track this place is. You could drive it like a short track, but has long, deceiving straightaways into these tight, very tight corners. Archibald currently leading this race, Samuel Archibald. Not really in contention for a championship. He's just here to show up. He has pretty good pace and speed just about anywhere he goes. Just trying to harness that and hopefully get a win eventually. Then you have the pole sitter Shelton sitting in 2nd place, John Tiller in 3rd. John really, like you mentioned it before in the previous weeks, he seems to be one of those drivers that has good pace early in the race, but somehow, I guess, as the race progresses from time to time, just sometimes that car or that track particularly, as the transition sometimes goes, just plateaus along with the transition. So good battle back here throughout the field, as some drivers trying to navigate amongst themselves around each other. Bradford kind of overdrove that corner there, but he might be able to escape with that position a little while longer. Carter trying to attack these corners, corner entry.
I think Bradford just got the wall.
Yep, that time he might have locked up a tire there and just kind of drove into it. Very possible.
You got a bit of damage on that right side now.
So the top 3 only separated by a second. Then Brock Page back there, Brock Page and Tyler Myers always makes me get crossed up sometimes, because you never know what paint scheme they're going to be in. I think they're both like fans of RFK, and they always seem to either pick or make or choose or slap on schemes so that you don't know who's going to be in what scheme is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, Jacob Carter driven up to 5th since that altercation he had with Smith. I wonder if Bridgman did get involved in that incident pretty badly, because him and Smith just been in the pit road ever since.
Yeah, they're
so
out.
Well, so doesn't look like Nathan. There's Nathan Line. I wonder why the scoring tower isn't scoring Nathan, because I'm pretty sure I just saw his car on the track, but it says he's out. Yeah, there he is. He's right behind Shelton. No, that's John Tiller. My bad. That's Tiller. I think Line and Tiller are teammates, and Line's that's normally a scheme that Line has used prior in the past. So Tiller's switching it up on us this evening as well. So we got some drivers. Go ahead.
Shelton back in his corner, way out. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
Oh yeah, that is a great technique to do here at Gateway. Probably one of the best techniques to do is really back up the corners, like you said, like you alluded to.
See if he does it again going into one. No, not so much. I guess that was just a good time to get on board with that camera.
Right? Yes, Gateway here, 33, 34 second lap times, maybe even once the tire fall off, might see 35 second tire fall off lap times if we get a long enough green flag run. Bradford still having some problems there. Really taking. There are multiple lanes here at Gateway.
I don't think.
But gotta be careful. Lane. No, yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking maybe he burned his tires off, because that is really easy to do with this track. And once they're burned off, it just plows.
Oh yes, and also we do know he has slapped the wall a couple of times, so could have some good right side damage. Maybe that toe could be knocked out a little bit. So quite an inconvenience to have while trying to turn into these corners here. But talk about doing a lot of shifting here this evening. Next week will be Sonoma for the BNR Cup Series.
Sonoma. I don't think I own that track. I'm gonna have to get it.
Well, this is round 2. So round 2 of the playoffs, race 2 here at Gateway this evening. And like I said, Sonoma is next week. That would be an elimination race because it would be the 3rd race of the 2nd round.
Brock Page loses
Nashville
it, goes into the wall.
Oh.
Don't. Oh. Cook gets
My
him.
apologies. I was looking at the schedule.
And that's gonna bring up caution number 2.
That is a hard, violent twitch. The steering just got away from him, and there are some bumps there in turns 1 and 2 here at Gateway. It can be a quite bumpy track, and it looks right there making that transition in the center of the corner. The front tires did not bite, and these steering racks in these cars, Chris, are just something else. And when the steering just doesn't go the way you think it's going to react differently. And there was no catching that car regardless. That car was going around. And, man, gets clobbered by Timothy. So
Timothy really having nowhere to go. He kind of was committed to the top. He barely got him, you know. He locked it up. But.
Exactly. I think we saw somebody hit the crosswalk, the stairs on pit road. I could be wrong. 3 wide coming out of the pits. Wow.
Ooh, Archibald. Looks like he lost a lot.
No quick repairs in the BNR Cup Series, so Brock, you know.
He won a couple weeks ago. I know that doesn't advance
yes.
because of rounds now, but... Josh Small leading now. Surprised he wouldn't head to the pit and take new tires. Be the only one out there.
Was Josh one of the cars that pitted on the first caution though?
Well, let's take a look.
Because if he was, that could be a reason why he stays out here. No?
But he is not pitted. That's very surprising. We'll have to see. I mean, he's going to go straight back. I think he knows that too, but
yes,
how long can those tires hold on?
This could be quite risky.
Because once the tires start, once it starts pushing, then your lap times drop so hard because you just have to slow down so much to get the thing to turn.
Okay, so Brandon, Jacob, Myers, Cook, and Page. Those cars were the ones that pitted earlier in the race. Everybody else, that was their first pit stop of the evening. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I kind of think he gets, I wouldn't want to say ran over here, but it's very questionable of why did he stay out here?
Maybe, well, for one, I'm sure he wanted to get that point for leading a lap.
Good possibility, yes. Oh, you could see Timothy whenever he went to apply the brakes to, the car just kind of locked up and slammed to the right. That's also like before he even got to Brock Page there. Brock's still in the pits. Timothy's already able to get out, but I would assume that car is still pretty wounded. So getting the restart here, coming to lap 28, 27 laps down, already completed of the 118 this evening. I thought it was supposed to be 120, but hey, Chris, it's okay to be a couple of laps off sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was listed at 120. They might have shortened it 2 laps to make it an even, what was it, 150 miles?
Yes, I believe that might have been. Yes. Thank you there, Chris. So, I think Carter snagged the wall on corner exit. Might be wrong, though, but that camera angle might have been deceiving.
Ooh,
but,
3 wide. Holy Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Brandon Moore shot the middle in a hurry and made it work.
Yes, he really drove it down deep into the corner, and like you said, made it 3 wide. Also did a slide job on the 21. 21 now fights back to the inside of Moore. So Archibald trying to hang it down low, but Brandon's going to have that momentum and that experience, that drive off as well. John Tiller now looking to do something to Archibald. Making a move. Archie's going to cut him off, though. Late block into the corner. Like I said, sometimes you got to treat this like a short track. Archibald now thinks he's going to set up more now for another pass attempt into turns 1 and 2. He's actually going to kind of walk it up half a lane from the bottom. Looking a bit further back, Campbell, I think, might have snagged the wall. He's losing a couple of positions now. So, at least one. Caleb Shelton out to a half a second lead over Jacob Carter.
What just happened to Archibald?
Got loose coming out of turn 2, it looks like. Car's gonna snap on him right there, corner exit. Either forgot to upshift or possibly just didn't give it enough time to where the car would be coming off the corner to get back into the throttle.
Tire's not fully warmed up yet.
Yes, that could be another thing. Archibald now glazing the wall as we got, I believe that was Cook, Timothy Cook, pounded that, slammed, panned, jumped out of the pan. That's, man, if the car was ill handling after the Brock Page T-bone incident, in turns 1 and 2, it's probably handling just as bad after that contact.
Oh, Archibald hits the wall too.
Man, exit of turn 4 there has really been a trouble spot.
It seems like Archibald's kind of struggling now, since he seemed like he had a bad pit stop, lost a bunch of spots, and now, I mean, he was leading before. Now he's back here in 5th, kind of falling back from Tiller a bit.
Also got to remember, Chris, more rubber has been laid down on the track. Track is changing as well. So, yes.
Changing in more ways than one.
But also, like you said, losing the track position can also change, have a very mental fatigue blow to you. as well. Like you said, kind of had a bad pit stop, long pit stop. Possibly overshot the box, had to reset the car perhaps.
All over the back bumper of Tiller as they're coming out of 4 now. You're looking underneath on the turn 1. Tiller's going to give him the space, and Archibald's going to slide up in front of him, close the door. And Archibald is cleared for 4th place. Brock Page is back out on the track now.
4 laps down. He's really hoping to get some quick cautions back to back to back. Really help him out.
Yeah, you know him. He's the only one any laps down. So any cautions, that'll get him a lap back immediately.
Josh Small only 11 seconds, but falling back further, moment by moment here. Just first car, that you would think would be in that territory, him or Cook. They're both around the same distance away from the leader, so they have a little bit to go before the leader would get to them, but I'm just saying those would be the first couple of cars you would think would be in danger. So, like I said, fuel window 48. Oh, every time I bring up a fuel window or talk about.
Oh, Brock again.
Oh no. Struggling keeps continuing for Brock.
Well,
this time it was on the other side of the track.
Right up to the wall. Keep talking over you.
Right? No, you're good.
The difficulties of co-broadcasting over the internet instead of side by side.
He was just able, like you said, good thing to able to cut it down off the track. Sometimes that snappy, it'll snap back to the right as you're just trying to, I guess, correct it back, turn it back straight again, like we saw previously. Those are some just freaky moments that can happen.
Well, it's good for Small. He can pit now.
Yes, indeed.
I was just trying to think. That's good for one more driver, but who is it? Brock Page, but he's the cause, so he's not going to get lucky dog.
Well, perhaps also good for Timothy Cook, so he could come in, repair some more of that damage. Some more of that damage he possibly got by clobbering the wall a few moments ago, so...
Ooh, Archibald overshoots the pit box. Has to back it up twice. That's going to cost him some spots again. Ooh. Let's see where he's going to end up coming off. It looks like he's 7th, so he lost 2 spots. About that time, the drivers are probably going to have a hard time seeing in certain spots in this track with the sun going down, putting a glare in their eyes.
Yes, good possibility. Good chance to lock up the brakes even more.
Yeah, we can see out the left side of Timothy Cook's car here. There it is. There's that glare. Looks like they're actually on the tail end of it.
Yeah, at the rate the sun goes down in iRacing, though, it seems that maybe by the time they get done working this caution, that sun will probably already be down. But
Timothy Cook
if
continuing to
not,
work on repairs while staying on the lead lap.
anybody you want to grab, maybe see if we could see how the track's handling for them there, Chris, or what were you going to say? My apologies, Chris.
Let's see about Josh Smalls. You want to see if we can talk to him?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Hey, Josh, it's Chris and Will up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, Josh, just wanted to ask real quick, what are you struggling with at the moment?
Actually, I'm just playing it safe. The car is still somewhat loose. I've noticed I hit fifth gear a couple times. I'm keeping it third and fourth, and one and two, keeping it in fourth through 3 and 4. I think I hit third twice. But I'm just trying to run a consistent, speed, consistent time. I just ran 40 laps and only used 10% on the right front and 12% on the right rear.
Right.
I'm actually going to try a little bit of strategy on this race. I normally do good here in the truck series. I'm a top 5, top 10 contender in the truck series here. This is definitely a challenge. I haven't raced this track this bad in this series. I don't know if it's a temperature issue or a setup issue, but it's really messy. The cars are just they're really loose. But I'm just trying to play it safe, play a little bit of strategy there, and hopefully I can capitalize at the end.
Well, best of luck to you, Josh. Looks like you're going back green here, so we'll get you back down there. Thanks for talking to us, Josh.
I appreciate it, fellas.
Alright. Looks like the lights are off. About to go back green like you just said, Will.
Bradford looks like he's got the lead. Going to bring him to the restart zone, or the restart of the race. So Chris Campbell and Aaron Bradford restart on the front row. Campbell dropping back a few spots now as Caleb Shelton trying to navigate through, get back to the lead, taking the long way around. Oh, he glides the wall a little bit. We've seen that already this evening.
Bradford really let up into that corner.
Yep. Possible lockup or just a bit too far with the entry.
I think he just jumped out of it. Did he pit on that cycle?
I want to say no. I want to say Bradford and Campbell stayed out possibly.
Yes, you are correct. Oh, and Carter goes around in the front stretch. Oh, Campbell slams the wall too. Wow, that was a hard slam by Campbell.
Both of these drivers just getting loose off the corner. We talked about it. Treacherous turn 4, it seems. Car wants to kind of sway to the left, almost a fishtail type of deal, and then
What's it happen to Campbell? Oh.
Try to catch it. Campbell.
That was quite a slam. And then gets
Yep.
Carter.
I think the steering gets away from Campbell there.
Yeah, I'm going to say you're correct on that one, Will. Caution number 4 on lap 47 tonight here at Gateway.
So I think the question comes down tonight is, after this caution, after we're done with this caution, are we going to see another one? Because if we see another one, we probably won't see, there's a big chance that we probably won't see a green flag cycle of pit stops take place tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one.
Because from what I got told, 48 to maybe 60 laps, you know, how some drivers are able to save, you know, pull some laps out of their sleeve from somewhere here or there. So you never know. You get told some numbers, you got to believe it, and then sometimes they go longer than what you get told. So that's why I kind of made the 60 range here this evening. So 48 to 54 laps, and then possibly maybe 60. Some drivers you never can tell anymore, Chris. So already 2 drivers out of the 13 that actually started. Nathan Lyon wasn't able to load into the race, I don't believe, for some reason, unfortunately. And Christopher Campbell in the pits currently repairing damage he sustained after his incident, almost synchronized spinning out of turn number 4 for 2 separate cars. But probably caution will probably go to Carter. Carter was having a real good drive back moment after the incident he was involved in earlier in the race on lap 1 or 2. I want to say it was coming to lap 2 perhaps. But could just be an etch-a-sketch up and down night for Carter. Shelton, Tiller, Archibald back in 3rd place after starting P2 and leading the opening stanza of this race. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. Going back green, Chris. Going to take lap 50 green. Don't you love how certain... Go ahead, Chris, my bad. I was just going to say certain tracks, you know, the pace car waits till the very end to duck off. It's kind of funny. But back to the throttle here at Gateway. Barney the flag man furiously waving that green flag out in the air. Caleb Shelton gets a good jump on the field, able to get his car into turns 1 and 2 first. Everybody funnels in and out of 1 and 2.
Archibald back up front, making a look to go for the lead here on the low side of Shelton.
And Tiller just waiting in the wings in 3rd place, just watching this battle unfold. Samuel really giving the bottom lane a really good, honest try. Shelton really able to get that drive off the corner. Oh, they both drive it in there pretty deep, trying to outdrive one another. And John Tiller could be judging his braking off of these two in front of him, so got to be mindful of that. Some drivers will do that.
That's something I've always found very difficult when you're racing real close, you know, right on someone's back bumper. And if you can't see the marks, how do you know when to let up? I mean, that should show my inexperience right there. But
well, just some drivers, if they're just in that riding mode, just want to ride, log some laps, you know, they can kind of know when the body of the car is in that fluctuating, basically applying brakes, how the weight in the car transitions, and you can tell either braking or just letting off the throttle, turning into the corner. Subtle moves that the car in front of you will do to, all right, well, now I need to turn in, you know, or sometimes by then it might be a bit too late, but all about just logging laps at a track and just having experience as well.
Jumping to Myers here. Oh, gets loose off the corner.
Oh my goodness, the car just darted hard left.
His nose isn't attached, he's just pushing it around there. I guess that's a good way to bring it back to the team.
My goodness. You know, years ago, I believe
Bradford
there was a truck race.
Sorry about that. Well, Bradford just got in the wall.
I'm pretty sure there was a truck race here, I think, years ago where it was either here or Phoenix. It might have been Phoenix, where coming off the corner, a truck got loose and came down into the inside pit wall and broke the pit wall. It was either here or Phoenix.
Whoa, Bradford checking way up in the corner. Page having to make a hard move down the low side to not drive through him.
Well, go back to locking up, you know, like we talked about earlier. These straightaways are kind of long and deceiving. And when you go into these corners, you're trying to apply enough pressure to get the car to turn through the corners. So
Archibald, slams the wall.
I think the car got out from underneath him after he had turned through the corner, turned into the corner. The car just steps out like he's turned into the corner, and it just bam.
He throttled up right there. Listen. Weird. Maybe he was trying to get the back end to break free? I don't know, Will.
Yes, good possibility.
I'd say let's bring him in and talk to him, but if I was him, I wouldn't want to talk to us right now.
Oh no.
What happened to Bradford? What in the world? Hold on a second, we'll find it. Bradford looks good here.
Oh,
Oh, there it was. He got loose off the corner and hammered the inside wall.
yeah, the car says we're going to keep going left, okay?
So we got a lot of people having issues with that late in the race here. Well, maybe not late. What we half? Yeah, just past the halfway point.
Well, ever since basically, the start of the race, we've just had problems with turn four. Turn four seems to be, or the exit. Turn four just seems to be the troublesome spot this evening, and turned into a race of attrition. Only 6 cars left on the lead lap and 7 circulating. Bradford in the pits getting repairs at the moment. John Tiller 4 seconds back from the race leader of Caleb Shelton. Brandon Moore driven back to 3rd place in the 47 car. Timothy Cook, after what I would thought would have been day done after the incident we saw with him and Page, but he's got repairs done to that car. He is sitting 4th currently. And Josh Small with his tricky strategy in 5th position. Jacob Carter 6th position, and Brock Page 7th, 3 laps down. So, like I said, race of attrition. Have to wait and see how this race is going to keep unfolding. Tiller and Moore kind of close together. Could be the closest battle on track.
Yeah, Carter messed his car up too.
Yes.
But he's continuing to drive. I guess somehow it can't be that bad. I mean, that thing's towed in pretty bad on the left front. He's still in the lead lap, so.
It looks quite uncomfortable. I would hate to be that left front assembly on that race car. Thank goodness it's a it's a 3D model on a simulation.
Looks like it's going straight too. That is I bet he has no idea that it's that bad. He probably thinks he's got a little bit of damage. It's just costing him some time. But we are shocked that that car is racing. At least I am.
I mean, yes. I mean,
he's fighting physics. I mean, that wheel wants to go right.
If this was real world, there's no way they would still need repairs to make for that car, I think.
He does keep locking it up too. That left front is going to be just cooked.
Well, yes, there's obvious reasons why he keeps still locking it up. Like, it's turned at an angle it's not supposed to be.
There it is, locking out. I think he's hoping for a caution. Might have to bite the bullet and bring it in on the green. Everybody is pretty split up. Moore and Tiller. And Shelton's 5.5 over 2nd place Tiller.
Well, if they do keep it green, we might get to see that green flag pit stop. But that's still a good minute away. That'd probably be... it's going to be danger close, to be honest, I would have to say. So, anywhere between, I'm just going to say lap 98 to lap 111. If it was to stay green here, like, Now, tires could mean a lot more, so might see drivers start to pit, even say lap 85 to 95. So
Chris Campbell coming back out on track.
yeah, he has a chance to gain some spots and get a top 10, I would think.
You know what? If he finishes this race, he'll probably get himself 8th or 9th. At least
So
yeah, 22 laps, and he won't be back on the lead lap, but he's gonna pass a good bunch of cars that got out of the race after him.
And you know what? That's more track knowledge and time. So if you ever do come back here ever again, but for some reason in the back of your mind you might be questioning your like wanting to ever come back here, I guess, if you would end the race 22 laps down, perhaps, like that would just be like, do I really want to, like, good track knowledge, but
see if he's got the playoff banner, so he should be in the playoffs. So, and that right now he's outside the top 10 on track position wise. So,
right.
yeah, I mean that'll get him in, not even just the top 10, but in the top 10. You know what I mean? On
yes.
the inside. Looks like Meyer's car is getting fixed up, so we'll see if he'll end up back on track, as well as Bradford.
Good little battle that was going. My apologies, Chris.
Yeah, Archibald is out for indefinitely, so there's your top 10.
I was going to say, good little battle between Moore and Tiller for a couple of laps that was. I think Moore got the best of Tiller. But Tiller's still there within a few car lengths, so might have a drive back at Moore. We don't know yet. So the Trans Am Series was actually here this weekend at Gateway. There is a roval, I guess, if you want to call it that type of configuration. There's a road course configuration to Gateway, and that's what the Trans Am Series was racing on this weekend here.
I did just accidentally discover that, like you just said, Gateway has a road course. It's just messing around on iRace. I didn't realize that they did.
Yeah, it is. Kansas also has a road course layout.
Really?
Yep. Las Vegas does as well.
You should put the Cup cars on the New Hampshire road course.
Oh, goodness.
That's a pretty tight one. That would be...
Yeah,
that'd probably be awful for the Cup cars. It's just so tight, you wouldn't be able to pass.
Like, what actually races on the New Hampshire, like...
Motorcycles are a big one. They do SCCA. You know, just sport car clubs and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I think the main draw of it was the motorcycle races. They need to bring open wheel back to New Hampshire. That was cool. That was way back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The car's about to lose a lap anyways. Or, excuse me, not Carter. Yeah. Carter.
Yeah, you were right, Carter.
Bye, Caleb. Think you went by and hollered out, "Hey, wheel's pointing the wrong way."
Yeah, if Caleb was able to see it.
You can't turn that way.
Well, unless we have a caution, I don't know if Brandon going to be able to get to Caleb or not. Caleb just seems to be really good here at Gateway, smooth in and smooth out. Like we talked about earlier, backing up the corner entries for the most part.
Caleb's one of those ones that we see up front wherever we're at.
Oh, yes.
I think if he didn't end up wrecking out of however many races for whatever reason, I think he'd have some more wins in this series. It seems he's up front a lot, and then something happens. One of those typical front runners, well.
Yes, Caleb is up front at a lot of tracks. Very good front runner, like you say. And I'd have to agree with you. Probably would have some more wins if some of the races went his way, or just wasn't in those types of predicaments that you find yourself in motorsport.
Brock Page is 3 laps down now. But now that Carter is a lap down, if a caution was to come out, Page would not get that waiver round. Lucky dog, rather.
Yeah, I think Brock would have had the speed tonight for sure if he could have cut back those mistakes. Really just don't really want to say it was really driver error, to be honest. It was just the car. These Gen 7 Cup cars can just kind of catch you out and kind of be very just uncontrollable at times on corner entries or just even corner exits. And you think you have put enough wheel into it. Sometimes the car keeps turning or it just doesn't turn at all. So then you go to react to what the car is doing, and the way the steering boxes are in these cars, they're set up to have just smooth enough reactions, I guess you could say. And whenever you jerk the wheel, it really computes rapidly of what that jerkiness is going to do. Cuts back. But Gateway's a very difficult track within of itself. Very technical track, just because of how quick you can be carrying the speed down the straightaways, and then very, very slow through the corners. Basically, imagine Darlington, but flat. We all know what Darlington is shaped like. A 1.3 track.
Yeah, that's true. Looks like
has decent banking. Yep.
One end's bigger than the other.
Some people compare this track to New Hampshire and Phoenix, Milwaukee Mile. Those are 3 tracks you could compare it to.
They should bring back the Milwaukee Mile. I like that track.
Well, the trucks ran there earlier, a few weeks back.
So it's hopeful.
Well, the Xfinity Series isn't going to Road America next year, so
they went a little
maybe
crazy. Going a little crazy with the road
maybe
courses. Too many of them.
good possibility, I think, that Xfinity and trucks goes to Milwaukee next year.
Tiller in pits now. So there's the green flag stops we're talking about. Well,
Yes,
Carter
indeed.
finally bringing
Tiller.
it in.
So,
He's still driving
go ahead,
that.
Chris.
They just put another tire sideways on it.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
well, like, that's crazy. We're gonna have to yeah.
Imagine if you were the tire changer, like if this was like in real world, right? Like,
Yeah. You like dip it into the fender first. Another pit takeoffs like Timothy Cook gonna be bringing it in.
I would just grab him from Discord real quick and say, hey, your tire's pointed in the wrong direction. He wouldn't even know it, though, but that'd be terrible. We don't need to pick on him while he's racing like that. That'd be terrible.
Wait, what it is? No, I'm starting
Yeah.
feeling bad. Uh-oh. Sorry.
I mean, he's all, you know, he's in sixth place, but out of what we have here, but
He lost a lap because of it, but not like quickly.
well, the pit cycle and everything as well. So, but yes, he was slowly losing a lot of time to the race leader, but that damage, man, he has ricocheted off the walls tonight and kept it straight a couple of times. So he probably doesn't even think nothing of it. I mean, he for sure knows he does have the damage because the car probably looks a bit wobbly. It looked like it from the in-car camera that we had a little while ago, being inside the car with him coming off the corners. It seemed like it would wobble. So if he's paying close enough attention, he sees that, and he probably knows that something is awry. He's got to. But green flag scheduled pit stops, Chris. You don't really just you don't have the time really to fix, set there any longer than what you already want to.
Right.
So, but man, yeah, if he saw what we saw, he'd probably be like, yeah, I might need to fix this. But
Campbell is up inside that top 10 now. Up in 8th.
Yeah, he's logged enough laps and got up there, like you said, to 8th place. Unless something drastically happens to Brock, I don't see him gaining any more spots. Like, unless something happens to any more of the runners that we have. Like I said, this race is turned into a race of attrition.
Here we go. Shelton bringing it down pit road now.
So did Josh Small just take right side tires and some fuel, or just fuel? Questionable calls here this evening. Caleb Shelton was the only car on the lead lap when he pitted.
Small has not pitted yet.
Small still hasn't pitted?
Correct. He last pitted...
Oh, okay.
He last pitted on lap 40 with Shelton.
So, well, now that the pit cycle's done, Chris, we can do a crank it up real quick.
Absolutely.
Well, back again this evening, BNR Cup Series here at Gateway. Second round of the playoffs, race 2. Josh Small making his final scheduled pit stop of the evening. Going to bring it back out onto the raceway. Brandon Moore was able to eke into the lead, gain a little bit of time, but through the pit stops and everything, still wasn't enough to chase down Caleb Shelton, as 3 cars in total on the lead lap. Caleb Shelton, Brandon Moore, John Tiller, 7.5 seconds separate those 3 cars, those 3 drivers. Timothy Cook in the 29, Jacob Carter in the 22, Josh Small in the 10, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 1 lap down respectfully and on the same lap, so could be a tussle for that 4th position, but they are a bit separated on track, that is. Just saying that they are at least on the same lap. So 15 laps to go, and looking to be a Caleb Shelton show this evening. Not to say he didn't have some tough competition early going. Next week will be a tough elimination race, as Sonoma can always have its own list of challenges to face.
That almost seems cruel, making Sonoma a cutoff race. That's just mean.
Don't it though? I'd have to agree with that. But
They do super speedways as cutoff, so.
Well, the Roval this year, the Charlotte Roval in the Cup Series is an elimination race. So.
Oh, yeah. Small taking.
And it's an elimination race for Xfinity as well. My apologies. Yeah, Small getting by with the fresh tire, getting by Carter, 4th, 5th place, like you said. So soon to be 10 laps to go, Chris.
Yeah, well, inching in there. Having slow. Shelton out front, just driving away. Moore probably just trying to be moderately conservative so he can make sure he gets that 2nd place. He knows he would have to push way too hard to even come close to 1st place, Shelton, and burn up everything that he had, so.
Almost certainly, indeed. But strong night, nevertheless, for Brandon Moore and John Tiller. He just seemed to have 3rd place capable running car. He's been basically in 3rd all night, so not really a surprise to see him walk away with the final step of the podium.
Yeah, he has been hovering right about there all night. I still cannot believe Jacob Carter. Unbelievable. And only 1 lap down. About to go 2. As I say that, Shelton's right behind him.
Yeah, he'll probably see after the race why his car wasn't able to turn as good down probably as much more as he wanted to, you know.
I gotta imagine somebody's told him by now. Whether they can see it out their window or mirror, some of these guys will have like the broadcast on, you know, next to them. Like, hey, Caleb, they're talking about you and your wheel is going the wrong way. Jacob, not Caleb. I don't know why I get those two mixed up. Just the name, not like them actually like on track, but just the names.
I don't know. There's a couple of other people I used to do that with. Unfortunately, I would just get them mixed up all the time. So, I know how that can go.
Looks like Aaron Radford did not end up coming back out on track. Looks like Shelton is about to lap Small for a second time.
Yeah, he's getting there. About to be 5 laps to go.
Shelton with almost an 8-second lead now.
Just being super smooth, ultra consistent.
He's showing he knows how to run this track, that's for sure.
Yeah, pretty dominating night by Caleb tonight in that PepsiCo car.
Let's see, is Shelton gonna let Small keep his lap?
Like you said, that would put him 2 laps down.
Yeah.
He does have that 8-second lead, so
Brock Page back here in 7th, 3 down, still chugging along.
hey, top 10 night.
It's not always bad having a small field.
So 3 laps to go. Nope, excuse me, 2 laps to go. Here at Gateway, Chris. BNR Cup Series coming to an end this evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Coming to the white line now.
Yes, Barney the flagman waving that white flag in the air, showing all the competitors 1 lap to go. Josh kind of putting up a fight, trying to stay only 1 lap down, but Caleb getting to the inside now. Don't think he's going to put him 2 laps down,
Well,
but he might here. Sometimes it's just better since the leader's that close to you, so you don't have to run that extra lap, you know.
yeah, that's true.
Caleb
I didn't
Shelton,
think of
though, in that PepsiCo 73, is going to win it here tonight, Chris. Dominating the race. Brandon Moore 2nd. John Tiller brings it home 3rd.
Carter brings his 3.5 wheeled car. Alright, let's final results. Caleb Shelton bringing it home with the big win tonight. Brandon Moore in 2nd. John Tiller fills out the last podium position. Timothy Cook in 4th. 5th is Josh Small. Jacob Carter 6th. Brock Page ends up in 7th, Chris Campbell in 8th, 9th goes to Aaron Bradford, 10th, Samuel Archibald. Tyler Myers is in 11th, Cameron Smith in 12th, and Philip Bridgman in 13th. Nathan Lyon did not start this race. So let's take a quick break and get our top finishers, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Gateway for the BNR Cup Series. We've got our second place finisher. Second place finisher, Brandon Moore. Brandon, we saw you at the beginning of the race having to work up through the field a bit, and once you got up front, you kind of stayed there. Tell us about it.
Just a handful, trying to get a handle on this thing. Didn't run any laps previous to getting off work this evening, and just took a while to get a handle on it. And looks like we was probably about a tenth and a half off of being up there with Caleb there. But it's a good run, very slick track. Takes a lot of discipline on the throttle and the brake. But very successful evening. But yeah, it's fun going to the back to the front. It was a good time.
What more do you think you might have needed to been able to catch up to Shelton?
Oh, the car just never really wanted to do what you wanted it to do. You know, you'd be tight on the brakes and you'd be loose on the brakes another corner. It'd be tight in the middle, then you're dying off the corner. You know, just really loose off, and then it's just a handful of a car, just a different setup probably. It just lacked overall grip in my opinion.
All right, well, bringing it home in second, doing a good job with that. Who do you want to thank?
I just want to thank everybody who came out for the race, and thank everybody who came out to watch and broadcast booth, and let's take this second place finish and use that momentum in the next week, and hopefully end up one spot better into a win. That'd be cool. I think we're going to road course next week, ain't we?
Sonoma, yes.
Sonoma, oh boy, yeah. I'm ready for that. That'll be so much more fun. Love Sonoma.
All right, well, congratulations on the second place, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week, Brandon.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
And now we've got our winner, Caleb Shelton. Caleb, up front all night, nobody could even come close to you. Tell us about it.
Well, I didn't get the best start at the initial green flag of the race, so I ran around in second there. It was kind of hard to pass, especially early in the race. There was no grip at all. And then once I was able to get the lead, have the clean air, I was able to pull away. And then I saw Brandon pit early or before me, And I think I had like a 7 or 8 second lead at that point. So I knew that I had a few laps that I could stay out and still hold the lead. So when I pitted, I ended up coming out ahead of him, and I had, a few lap pressure tires, so I was able to just stay in the front. So it ended up working out. It was a fun race.
Yeah, we're unbelievably dominant tonight. So definitely well-deserved win. Who do you want to thank tonight, Caleb?
Well, I'll just thank my wife for letting me do this, spend some time on iRacing, and guess I might as well thank Pepsi for being delicious and refreshing.
Yeah, you know what? I did point that out. You always have Pepsi on your cars, and
Yeah,
it's not the same scheme, so we know you're changing it up with different Pepsis.
yep. I love my Pepsi. That's all I can say.
All right, congratulations on the big win tonight, Caleb.
Thank you.
All right, Carter. Let's see if we can get Carter in here for a minute. I'd like to talk to him. Jacob Carter, it's Chris and Will in the booth. Do you have us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, I could not get away from talking about your car, which was pointing the wrong way. Your left front pointing the wrong way, that is. Tell us how that thing was
Yeah.
going, and did you know it was that bad?
Honestly, in practice, I kind of figured if you got a little too much gas, it would pop off of four. Um, and I guess that was just one of the moments. And I hate being mean. I hate being mean. But I told everybody we're going to start getting helmets, crayons, and coloring books and hand it to the people that just does not have common sense. Because it was an absolute train wreck. And as y'all could see, that when I did spin that one by myself, out of nowhere, had enough time to not hit me, just comes barreling past me and hits me in the quarter panel, and that's what really killed the car. That damage on the back rear wouldn't have caused anything. I probably would be top 4, top 3 maybe. But when he hit me, I said, "Yep, my car's done." I knew it from the get-go.
Well, we were watching you and seeing that. Like I said, the left front towed in pretty hard. I couldn't get over. I was shocked that you just kept cranking out laps and you weren't losing that much. But well, while you're here,
Yeah.
do you want to thank any sponsors, Jacob?
Ugh. Uh,
Put you on
no,
the
not
spot.
really, cause I ain't got my sponsors. Yeah, I ain't got my sponsors on my car just yet. I've been working on a new decal little setup paint scheme. So right now I ain't got no sponsors on my car. But I will shout out the Haviland crew that I work for. Haviland Express Lube. They offered to put the sponsor on the car for my races. Just been busy trying to put that paint scheme together, so it should come out very good here in a little bit. And thank y'all for coming out and doing what you do every Saturday night and watching me wreck every Saturday night.
All right,
Oh,
Jacob. All right, thanks for talking to us.
yes, sir.
All right, looks like we got Brock Page in the waiting room. Brock Page, it's Chris and Will in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we seen you down there in the waiting room.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just chilling. Figured y'all would want another interview. That race was pretty boring, so we can make the interviews fun.
All right, well, why don't you tell us about your night? Tell us how it went.
I was confident heading into the race. I thought we had a decent shot. Decided not to qualify just to try to have a little more fun. I'm already locked in, so I was like, I'll just start back here and try to have a little fun racing these guys. Made it to fourth, I think it was, and just barely missed it getting in the corner and overcorrected pretty bad. Because these cars you just can't feel when they grab, and they're gonna start coming back to you like the Gen 6s. But all in all, I guess it was an alright night. It's tough mentally to stick in a race when you know you're 3 laps down or whatever. and to spin out twice. That's pretty embarrassing. But I just stayed in it for the points, honestly, and congrats to Caleb on the win. He was fast all night, him and Samuel. I don't know what happened to Samuel, but it was fun, I guess.
All right, well, congratulations on finishing the race. Only 3 laps down, so despite the trouble, still bringing a top 10 though.
Yep, just trying to scoop up as many points as I can for the next round because you never know how they're going to go. So it's better to be prepared than unprepared. So it's the whole reason behind it.
All right, Brock. Well, they say congratulations on keeping it inside the top 10, and thanks for talking to us.
Yes, sir. Hope y'all had a good one up there.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up from Gateway. Final thoughts?
No, final thoughts. A pretty interesting race. Like I said during the race, it just became a race of attrition, and finally got to see green flag pit stop there towards the end. So love to see it. And yeah, just a tricky race with this type of tricky car. Just trying to navigate the track the best of your ability to where it'll actually get through the corners halfway decent and not be all twitchy like, but sometimes it'll that's just racing. So we saw it catch out a handful of drivers tonight. So Sonoma next week, the cutoff race for or the elimination race for round 2, going to be just as tricky and have its own uh, twist to it. I do believe so. That'll be one to watch next week. So can't wait for that, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the road courses are always mix up to see who's going to shine there and who's going to overshoot the corners a lot.
Almost certainly.
So, all right, but we'll be back with you on Saturday next week. I'm looking forward to it, of course, at Sonoma. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. So we'd like to thank you for joining us. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the Cup action, the BNR Cup action every Saturday night, only on 1-5 Studios. We'd like to thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.